Nothing to worry about. What part of the video is strange? That part. That looks like a bear. Nope, not there. Oh, this is making frame rate go a little nuts. It looks suspiciously like a bear. This is... I fear we have made a grave miscalculation. This animal, this silhouette, no matter how you look at it, it is not a dog. This animal is a bear. From the silhouette, I'd say the animal is not a dog, but a bear. So then in that photo I took, those footprints must have belonged to this bear, yes. Let's take a second look at that. Yeah, it could be. Alright. Did you say a bear? Yes, that man is the first to come to mind. Now that we know this black shadow isn't a dog, but a bear, there's a good possibility that the man being attacked is not Knightley. Whatever can show that this man isn't Knightley should be somewhere in this video, wouldn't it, sir? Since his face is not visible, it would be difficult to get direct confirmation. However, perhaps there is something indirectly reflected. Something reflected? Hey, isn't there a mirror in the cell, sir? Indeed. That could be worth examining. See, there's another thing. I could have figured that out on my own. Okay. Let's map now and keep watching until something... Is there anything in there yet? No? Whoa. Okay, that is him. Okay. Can't really tell. Okay, we're looking at his legs. His arm. No, I don't think that's the spot. He's got a hat. He's got a police hat. Reflection of this person can be seen in this mirror. Is that a cap on his head? Actually, it looks kind of like the caps the prison guards wear, sir. You don't think? There's a guard who was attacked. Have you received a report of any guard being attacked by an animal? No, not that I've heard, sir. And it was someone else wearing a guard's uniform. I see. I have evidence that shows what this cap is. It is... stolen uniform. There was no report of a guard being attacked by an animal. However, we did hear that a guard's uniform was stolen. Putting two and two together, I'd say this was a disguise. For the purpose of a prison escape. Disguised as a guard? That sounds like it could have been successful, sir. Huh? Speaking of prison escapes. Indeed, that person certainly was successful. We were all under the impression that the person in this video was Knightley. But it's his cell after all. Why would it be anyone else? It's his cell after all. That line of logic no longer holds. Remember the tunnel under his bed? It's possible whoever used this tunnel is the one in this video. It seems it is time to answer that question. Just who is the person in this video? The person in this video is... Hey, we haven't looked at profiles in a while. We haven't even looked at Ray's. Okay, nothing special there. Huh? She's 26. Kinda young for a judge, seems like. Oh. Little punk. Goodness gracious, there are so many characters in this one. We've barely even talked to some of them. Alright, so it's J. Elbert. He looks older than 31. The person wearing the guard's uniform is the escaped prisoner, J. Elbert. Probability is extremely high. His pet is a polar bear cub. But the bear here is black. We have evidence that can explain this matter. I just thought it was like supposed to be a silhouette, so you couldn't really tell. It became black because of the mud packs. Think back to Frank Sawit's testimony. Thanks a lot, Frank. That's the rubber glove I dropped. Where did the mud on this glove come from? "9 a.m. You're a weird dude. During the animal show, Mr. Sawit was applying mud packs to the animals. So then, among those animals, was this polar bear? Yes. Was this polar bear? Yes. Prosecutor Edgeworth, there's a huge contradiction in your argument. Security camera footage. Judge Courtney, you were quite right. Sawit used mud packs during the animal show. Knowing this, a new contradiction in the video comes to light. A new contradiction? K. Do you know when this footage was taken? It was after the mud packs were used. That would put it around 9 a.m. In that case, you should notice something strange about this video. Huh? What's strange about it? Strange thing that contradicts the time this video was taken is... timestamp. The time Sawit was covered the polar bear in mud was around 9 a.m., which means this video should also have been taken at 9 a.m. However, the timestamp reads 6 a.m. On that day, the prisoners went to the courtyard to watch the animal show. At this time, only 3 people remained behind. Dogen in the special cell, Sawit in the workroom applying his mud packs, and the one who put his escape plan in motion at that moment, J. Elbert. Elbert left the polar bear in Sawit's care and entered the secret tunnel. Aww. However, the bear escaped from Sawit and followed after its owner. Just as he was chasing after the escaped bear, Sawit happened to witness... He couldn't... Oh yeah, you could. The dog pulling the murder weapon out of the body. Hang on. Hang on. When was he killed? When did it occur? I thought it was way later than 6. We not have it? We not have evidence of when it happened? Really? Huh. In profiles? No. Oops. Okay. That's irksome. Sawit's testimony is correct. This video must have been taken at around 9 a.m. However, the timestamp is off by 3 hours. Yeah. Why would the timestamp be off like that? Detective Gumshoe, I'd like you to examine the security camera. Alright, that'll explain everything. Sorry to keep you waiting, sir. I asked all the guards and... It seems the camera's power was cut off for a moment, throwing off the timestamp. What? The camera is an old model, so if it loses power, the clock stops as well. Usually the clock will reset to 12 midnight. In that case, this means the camera's power was cut for 3 hours. While I'm at it, I've got some more information for you, sir. You heard that Knightley denied stealing the key, right? Seems nobody would believe the words of a criminal, but Knightley testified I was knocked out too. It may not necessarily be a lie. My, there you all are. Making progress in your investigation? Can I be of any help? Actually, Warden Roland, there is something we must report to you. The escaped prisoner, J. Elbert, is most likely still inside the prison. He has disguised himself. Here is the proof. The person visible in this security video is Elbert, so perhaps he's still in this very building. These guys are two guys making a lot of noise. Come to think of it, didn't Mr. Elbert have a bracelet like the other prisoners? The bracelet would have been concealed under the uniform's sleeves. Moreover, the prison's main gate does not have a sensor to detect bracelets. All he would have to do is avoid any doors with sensors inside the prison. That's right. So if he didn't enter the cells or the workrooms, could one of you guys be J. Elbert? Uh-oh. Ah, Rocky! Stop it! What are you doing? It would seem that Rocky has answered that question for us. No! Rocky, this is all your fault. Little guy loves you so much, it's enviable. Right then, seize him at once. Wait, there's something we must hear from this prisoner. It's necessary if we were to find the truth. I'd like the permission to interrogate him. Understood. What do you want out of me? Elbert's escape route is linked to Knightley's cell, so it's highly likely he knows something about the crime. I'd like to ask you about the day the body was found. So as you guys, you were the ones who found my secret tunnel. Took me ages to dig that. I don't remember what voice I did for this guy. It wasn't much of a voice, but still. The day the body was found was the day I had planned to escape. I was in disguise. Then Rocky followed after me. He was all covered in mud. I panicked and returned to my cell. Damn, if only you guys hadn't shown up. If only Knightley hadn't died. You say you dug the tunnel. What did you use to dig it? Oh, that. Just hammers. And spoons, stuff like that. Bought them from the supplier, but it was all for nothing. Keheheh, no need to lose your temper. There's always next time. On the day of the incident, it's possible that Elbert met Knightley while he was alive. We'll have to listen to his testimony carefully. Alright. You... shut up. What's with that hold it, punk? You say you dug... What's it to you? You know how long it took me to dig that? I had to beg the supplier for those tools. Day after day I slaved away. Give me back my hard work. Give it back, you son of a... Can't get a word in edgewise. You can't just go around discovering people's holes. It's a good general rule. It took me ages to dig that. So you dug that hole alone? You're damn right I did. Would a tunnel like that really be dug by one person? Wow. Such a wasted effort. A kid like you wouldn't understand. Never rely on others. Never let others see you. Those are the rules we live by in here. Well, as a great thief, I kinda see where you're coming from. Okay, don't agree with him. Ah, no, I was just joking. Well, I wasn't. Damn, why did it come to this? Okay. Did you obtain the guard's uniform from the supplier too? Yeah, that's right. Seems he got it by threatening a guard. That guy went and stole it from someone's locker. So when you went through the tunnel, you were already dressed like a guard? No, to ensure that the clothes wouldn't get stained with mud, I carried them with me. Once I got out of the hole, changed clothes, getting out the cell doors was simple. And that's when Rocky ran up and jumped on me. That must be the moment the security camera captured. Or see, did you add that to your testimony? Once I got out of the hole and changed my clothes, getting out of the cell doors was simple. Getting out the cell door was simple, you say. Compared to going through the tunnel, it was very simple. You inhabit a prison, yet you seem to know the layout of the detention center quite well. Huh? What's so wrong about that? Sure, I've been to the detention center too. In that case, he should have known about it from the start. When Knightley was in his cell, the door would have been locked. Which means there was one piece of evidence Elbert needed to escape. Thanks, Edgeworth. Not like I could have figured that out on my own. When did you first realize he was following you? When I got out of the tunnel. Just when I thought I pulled it off. Damn. Didn't you notice anything when you entered the tunnel? He wasn't there at the time. I knew he would follow me if he was around. This is my chance, I thought. It's my luck, damn it. Such harsh words. Poor Rocky. I can't help it. Today was his fault, too. Just like yesterday, always clinging on to me. You didn't consider just making a run for it? Would have if I could. The mud would have given me away. It's not like I'd get another chance like this. So I had to proceed with caution. In the end, he was exposed by his own bear. It's possible that Elbert met Knightley before he died. I should listen to his testimony carefully and review the evidence. Getting out the cell doors was simple? I don't think so. The key was not found. You say it was simple, getting through the cell door? Yeah, that's right. You got a problem with that, huh? Even though you managed to arrive at Knightley's cell, opening the door wasn't so simple. How did you intend to unlock the cell door? J. Elbert, you had the key to Knightley's cell. I ain't got nothing like that. That's it. It was open. It was already unlocked when I got there. Indeed, the cell was vacant after Knightley's death, which is why, at the time we conducted our investigation, it was unlocked. Your successful escape attempt occurred after Knightley's death, so the door would have been open. However, you had tried to escape once before then. The plan was foiled thanks to Rocky. The video shows it all. Yes, that was during the animal show, before Knightley's death was known. And the cell door was locked, because no one knew he was dead. Without the key to Knightley's cell, your escape would have been impossible. Gah. Gwarg. That means it can't be. It's exactly what you think. In the case of the stolen key, the culprit is J. Elbert. You were the one who attacked the guard, weren't you? Guard, and Knightley too, in order to steal the cell key. It wasn't me. I don't know any Knightley. After stealing the key, you returned to your cell as a precautionary measure. Then you waited for a time when the prison would be mostly vacant. That was just before Knightley's death became known. In other words, during the animal show. But in the end, the plan was foiled thanks to Rocky. Don't screw with me. If you don't have evidence, I'll still win by decision. Besides, it was that Knightley guy who attacked the guard, right? I think not. Regarding the theft of the keys, Knightley was the victim. This proves Knightley was the victim who was attacked in his cell. So the bruises on his head. Guess I'll give it a shot. Proves Knightley was the victim who was attacked in his cell. Yeah, I think... Oh. No. Right? No. So I'm gonna go with his bruises on his head. No? Okay. It's because he didn't have the key. I have to remember the state of Knightley's... Is it the blood? Really? I guess I'll present the blood. Okay. In Knightley's cell, there were traces of his blood, which had been wiped away. I believe this is more than enough proof Knightley was attacked in his cell. You attacked those two people and stole the key, didn't you? Guard! Damn. I never thought you'd find the bloodstain I wiped away with the newspaper. Why would you go through all the trouble of wiping the bloodstain? On the hands of Knightley and the guard, there were obvious signs of a scuffle, you know. If the bloodstains were uncovered, they'd find out there was another attacker. If anyone looked around the bed, the tunnel I dug would be discovered. So you're trying to buy more time for your escape attempt. But I'm afraid to say your plan still ended in failure. Now then, hand over the keys to Knightley's cell. Gah! Whoa! Guard! Oh. Ouch. Knockout. No way, how could an amateur like you knock me out? Here, I got the keys right here. Hold it. If you have that key, then that means... That's right, Judge Courtney. You reasoned that Knightley stole the key and used it to leave his cell. From there, he entered Mr. Keyes' cage and was moved to the workroom. However, the very foundation of that hypothesis has collapsed. Ah! How? That wasn't his voice, that's okay. I see, in that case. There's only one person who could have moved Knightley. The criminal must have been someone who knew about the secret tunnel. Hey, are you suggesting... J. Elbert, you're under arrest, pal. Wait, I didn't do nothing. Sure, I knocked out those two guys, then I stole the keys. After that, I waited for the perfect time to enter that guy's cell. The cell was empty then. There was no dead body either. And also, how could I have gotten into the workroom? I couldn't even leave my own cell, right? It's true. You only had the key to Knightley's cell. But, there's also Dogen's dog. What? It'd be possible for the dog to carry the body from the cell to the workroom. I see. So you're saying there was an accomplice. Wait, how did the dog get in the cell, though? I mean, I know the door is automatically open for the animals, but you wouldn't think that would apply to the cells, just the workroom. Right? Seems like prisoners could easily slip out of their cell with their animals. Crime would have been possible if Elbert and Dogen were working together. It's perfectly plausible. Somehow, Elbert managed to carry Knightley's body to his own cell. And then, the dog must have carried it to the workroom. Yes, because all the animals can move freely in the prison. But that's not the case for the path between the detention center and the prison. The only one who could use that route was you, J. Elbert. What if there was another route? What if there was another route that you didn't know about? It couldn't have been. The tunnel is a straight path, is it not? Yeah, it seems like it. I didn't have enough time to dig any more than I did. I only dug halfway up the corridor. What? You mean to say that you didn't dig the entire tunnel? When I got to that cell, the tunnel was already there. There's a tunnel linking my cell to the well. Huh. Tunnel linking the cell to the well. Looking down the well from the courtyard, there's no mistaking it. They've always been connected. I just continued the tunnel with my digging. What was that hole doing there in the first place? Who knows? Maybe another inmate dug it in an attempt to escape. Maybe the animals dug it. Maybe they wanted to drink from the well. It's highly doubtful. There's no water in that well anymore. It's all dried up. Wait a minute. That's it. For some reason, that well gave off a nice scent. Nice scent. I don't know what it was, but it smelled sweet, like candy. This scent. I believe we've come across it before. You know the scent from Sweet Mr. Knightley. Knightley's body was giving off a sweet, candy-like scent. We used a police dog to track that scent, and that led us to discover the tunnel. By any chance, could this be the same scent as the well? Prosecutor Edgeworth, I know what you're trying to say. That the scent proves the body was carried down through the tunnel. Exactly. And J. Elbert, you are the only one who could have used the tunnel. Thank you, Mr. Elbert. I'm very grateful to you. At last the truth comes to light. Mr. Elbert, wouldn't it be wise to confess now? Being an accomplice, I mean? Don't tell me even you suspect me too. Judge Courtney, it seems you and I have come to the same conclusion. Not at all. Our thoughts on this matter are still quite different. Mr. Elbert was certainly an accomplice, but an accomplice to Horace Knightley. No? What do you mean? Mr. Elbert did not move the body. He simply lent the victim his keys. What? It would seem Mr. Elbert did indeed strike Mr. Knightley on the head. However, Mr. Knightley was not knocked out. The two must have made a little negotiation. Negotiation? For Mr. Knightley's escape plan to work, he would have needed the keys to his cell. So Mr. Elbert stole them from the guard. On the other hand, for Mr. Elbert to escape, he needed to get to Mr. Knightley's cell. But if Mr. Knightley had seen him and yelled, the plan would have gone down the drain. And so they negotiated. I didn't negotiate nothing. Oh, you still intend to deny it? I see. So in other words, we're back where we started. Mr. Elbert opened the cell door, and Mr. Knightley entered Mr. Keyes' cage. And then he was moved into the prison. Of course, and then he was killed in the prison workroom. Weren't you listening? The scent on the body shows it must have been moved through the tunnel. Knightley was moved from the detention center through the tunnel. Please wait until someone is finished before speaking. I do not claim that he wasn't moved through the tunnel. What? You don't? The scent shows that the body was moved through the tunnel. However, that does not mean it came from the detention center. What do you mean? It sure sounds like a contradiction to me. Isn't there one more possibility? The well in the courtyard. It's possible the body was dropped down from there. Courtyard? Ah, the well in the courtyard! Mr. Keyes carried the cage not to the workroom, but to the courtyard. Mr. Knightley was killed in the courtyard and his body was dropped down the well. And then the body at the bottom of the well was moved by Mr. Dogan's dog. Now, There's one thing I'd like you all to remember. Before the body was discovered, what was happening in the courtyard? The animal show, right? Regina and Simon were there. Wait, Simon? Ah! I see you understand. Who then dropped the body down the well? There's Courtney. She's a tough opponent. The flexible way of thinking enables her to adapt and come up with her own deductions. Mr. Knightley was not carried to the workroom, but to the courtyard. Courtyard. I don't know why I said it that way. Mr. Keyes was off stage for 15 minutes. This was when he dropped Mr. Knightley down the well. It's as simple as that. It would have been in plain sight! Judge Courtney, your reasoning is sound, I'll admit that. However, let's say the body was dropped down the well. That didn't have to be done during the show. It could have happened at a different time. Unfortunately for you, Prosecutor Edgeworth, that is not possible. What? When the show started, Mr. Elbert was in the tunnel, on his way to the cell block. Mr. Elbert, at that time, did you happen to see a body in the tunnel? Nope. Nothing like that. So if the body had been dropped before the show, Mr. Elbert would have seen it. However, he has stated he did not see a body. So it is impossible to think that the body was dropped before the show, and after the show, the body was discovered in the workroom. In other words, the body being dropped down the well and then moved to the workroom could only have been done during the show. And the only one who could have done it is Simon Keyes. No! Mr. Edgeworth, what should we do? If the body was moved through the well, that does put Mr. Keyes at a major disadvantage. However, the notion that the body was moved through the well is only a hypothesis. That doesn't mean there is evidence. I am obligated to recognize that fact. Will you allow me to investigate the courtyard once more? I give my approval, in the name of the Goddess of Law. Reinvestigating the courtyard. I fear this may be our final chance. Ruh-roh. Huh? What? Fire! Could be another prison break, pal. Should we evacuate? Everyone, please remain calm. This is just the signal for the evening meal. It's a little loud, so I can understand why you'd be surprised. Sure scared me. I'm terribly sorry. And with that, everyone, please return to your posts. J. Elbert, it's also time for you to return to your room. Ugh, bah, I got it. Let's go home, let's go, Rocky. Warden Roland, we will be proceeding to the courtyard for another investigation. Isn't it time for you to go home as well, Mr. Edgeworth? It looks like we're out of time. Why don't you continue this another time? But, the investigation. Today's been a big day, right? With the escaped prisoners and all. So I'm afraid I can't let outsiders like you loiter around any longer. This is my decision as the warden of this prison. Looks like it can't be helped. The warden's word can be called the law of the prison. Prosecutor Edgeworth, this means we will have to carry out our investigation another day. Until then, you may hold on to your prosecutor's badge. And with that, I leave you. Now, I think it's time you all left. Well, it looks like we'll have to continue the investigation tomorrow. Knightley's body was dropped down the well. It was carried to the workroom from Mr. Elbert's cell. This is Judge Courtney's logic, but is it correct? And Judge Courtney claims that Mr. Keyes transported him, but was Mr. Keyes really the only one with a chance to move him? Mr. Edgeworth, let's do our best tomorrow. We have to save Simon, no matter what. Indeed, I agree. I must prove Mr. Keyes' innocence without fail.